Hey, what's up, everyone? James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me on a very brief video that I feel like I really need to make. So, I get this question at the very least once a day in my comments. And, people are constantly asking me, whatever happened to your snake eater knife design? Where can I buy your knife design? When can we expect the next drop of your knife design for the snake eater? And, I answer those comments, but I think it's better to just make a video. That way, people have access to this information much easier. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So once again, this is my knife design, the Snake Eater. And I'm not going to go through the whole nitty gritty because it's years in the making. It's part of Junkyard Fox lore at this point. I'm sure 90% of you guys already know this. But just to get down to brass tacks and just just to catch people up in case they're not aware, I've had my knife design out since 2020. So 5 years ago with another maker. Now, back then, this was my original sketch that was brought to life by a maker, Woody Smith, American maker. And basically, my idea is I wanted to mix my two favorite knives, the Green River knife and the Mora Consbull. So I got a butcher knife, very old school. But as you can see with the grind, you got half that's Scandi for whittling, carving, batoning. And then the other half, you got a belly with the flat grind, very thin for processing game. You go up here, go up the belly, and you process game, processing catfish and stuff like that, trout, and then of course it's going to be great for camp cooking. I love to cook when I'm outdoors or foraging, cactus fruits and stuff like that. And after months of testing, although I very much enjoyed it, I was able to fine tune it, and discuss things with the maker. And this was my final version. As you can tell, they're very similar. Of course, from prototype to the final version, you do have my logo there, my original logo, which was a fox with a knife in its mouth. And then it had number 001 because each one of those was numbered. That's about it. And for years, I had this knife. It was a success. People were able to order it. Great stuff. In those years, you saw me using this knife in hundreds of adventures. And sadly, as the years went on, Woody Smith from Wood Steel Knives became more and more sketchy to the point that he just disappeared. He kept people's orders, their money, and he just vanished. We don't speak anymore. And so that sucks. That sucks because a lot of people were still interested in this knife design. And, I got to make it up to those people that never got their blades because, nothing in this world is free. And this coward just disappeared. So, with that being said, I needed to make another maker. I'm sorry, I needed to find another maker. And Garrett from bearforestknives stepped up to take over earlier this year. So that's his logo from bearforestknives. And he was willing to take on the design. And so, as you can tell, they're very similar in shape, width, length. They're about 85% the same. There's just going to be two main differences. One is the steel, but of course that's because this was a prototype. So this is 80 CRV, where the original one was AEBL stainless. About the most noticeable differences is, of course, the original has a smoother transition in the multi-grind from Scandi to flat. This prototype has a drop down. It's a step down. So it's got Scandi, then it just, like taking a step down from stairs, then it becomes a flat. And really, other than that, another difference is the scallops on your fingers. When you're processing game, they go down to right here. I don't know if the lighting can get that, but it stops right here. Where the original ones, they stop like right here, right where the pin is. And so that's about it there. And I promised you that I was going to take this prototype and I was going to be testing it out. And so it's been 4 months of testing from winter to now that we're right smack in the middle of summer. Since then, I've had a ton of adventures with it, and I've gotten to use it, so I've gotten to know it. Of course, it's my main shape and design, so I'm very familiar with it. But of course, a couple of little differences, especially with the steel and with this drop down and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and talk about my findings for this prototype. So, of course, the most important thing is philosophy of use. There's no such thing as the perfect knife, just like there's no such thing as the perfect vehicle. It all depends on you. It depends on your style, where you live, your environment, geography, the laws, what you do for a living, so on and so forth. So, with that being said, my philosophy of use for my knife is going to be for camping, camp cooking, and a lot of hunting and foraging. So if I had to narrow this knife down in a category, it's going to be very much like a hunter-gatherer knife, a camp cooking type knife, that area. Can it do bushcraft? Yeah, of course. It's got a very comfortable handle. It's got a Scandi. But if you're one of those barefoot hippie type guys out in Utah and you like to just carve a lot of handrail sets and stuff like that, this may not be fully for you. You may be better off with just a full-on Puko, full-on Scandi, very small, much smaller, much lighter, something around your neck or something. If you're not doing a lot of hunting and fishing, so this may not be necessary. Likewise, if you are a commando out in the mountains of Afghanistan, behind enemy lines, and you need to take out enemies and breach through doors and stuff like that, this is a very thin blade. It's not really going to be designed for that. So, you know, so on and so forth. Once again, if you've seen my videos, you've seen that I love to cook delicious meals. I love to eat like a king when I'm outdoors, cooking up jambalayas and stews and stuff like that. So with that belly, with how thin it is, it works great for that. And of course, I'm able to process game, but then I still have my Scandi, so I can still carve figure for deadfall traps and whittle a spatula out of a yucca stalk and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a montage for the last couple of months, show you guys what I've been testing this blade so far. And so I think it's best to, show, don't tell, and show the item in action. So my first test that I did was during the winter time. I did go fishing and I did reel in a couple little trout. And to me, that's the first thing. I think it's necessary for your knife, at least your EDC knife. How does it process game? And it carved those fish pretty good. It just gutted them. If you do see a little bit of like some hiccups when it comes to game processing during all this footage, keep in mind that, I do have nerve damage in my left hand. I don't have full control of my fingers, so I can't process game the way I used to. So it's not the fault of the knife. It's just the fact that, I got to deal with my injury. It's not the end of the world, but you just got to work around it. So just keep that in mind. But I was able to capture those fish, gut them, and then, of course, get some yucca stalks, thin them down, get a fire going, batoning, and roast up those fish. So that was my first test. Worked really good. As for camping, Cuervo and I went camping in the desert of Texas desert, and there we sliced up some veggies. Here we see Cuervo using his prototype of the same exact blade, and he's slicing some squash, some tomato, onions, because we're going to make a veggie medley to go along with some bear steaks that we were given. So some bear steak and some veggies right there. Really good stuff. So once again, like I said, I like doing a lot of camp cooking. Worked beautifully then. After that, we did go down to South Texas to camp with the legendary Bob Hansler, where we got, a hands-on lesson in South Texas survival, a very different environment from us. So it was very humid, a lot of rain, and, I got to find wild edibles that I don't find in my area, like wild onions, for example, stuff like that. And so you see me there slicing very thin slices on very small types of edibles, and this is a very minute task, very intricate task, and it worked beautifully then as well. We also did catch a catfish there, so of course we had to gut that bad boy, cook them up, and mix all those things together to make a bushcraft jambalaya. And then just recently, I went fishing again. Now that it's summertime, I went after bluegill. Bluegill are some of my favorite fish. They're plentiful. They're small, but once again, they're plentiful. So you can reel in a couple of them, and they're really good eating, and very underrated fish. And I did reel in 2 of them. And in fact, I even reeled in a little bass, but I threw them back in the water. But I did reel in 2 of the little bluegill, and I gutted them as well. So once again, please cut the gutting some slack, as just my hand doesn't really cooperate with me too much, but the blade itself did fantastic. And so as you see, for the last 4 months, I've been carrying this every single day, getting to know it, getting used to it. And I mean, overall, it feels very much like my original Snake Eater, which is very comfortable to me, very simplistic, almost broom handle style shape handle, but once again, very much a Green River style handle, and really good stuff. Now, I will say that it did take me some time to kind of get used to the 80 CRV of this new steel, because I've gotten used to AEBL for the last couple of years. So as you can tell, there is some patina going on there. It's not bad. I don't mind a patina. But you know, I did have to keep in mind when I was down in South Texas with Bob Hansler, I had to keep in mind to constantly be wiping this because, of course, the rain, the mist, the humidity in the air. I did have to take care of that. But at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. Um, I really like it. I like that it adds a little bit of style. I like, you know, I come from the Boba Fett school of fashion, so I do like, you know, some weathering in my stuff, but you don't want to let it weather so much where you are getting rust. But yeah, really good stuff. Of course, this new logo, my new logo is the fox skull, and so this one has my newer logo. Really good stuff. In my months, other than that, in my months of using it, I have realized that this step down is a little bit too abrupt. And so this is the prototype. The final version that will be coming out in a couple of weeks from now is going to be brought back about half an inch. It's going to be brought back about like right here. And so that gives you more belly, that gives you more flat grind, because I noticed when I would slice through potatoes that it would just kind of hit that like a little speed bump. It wouldn't stop your knife or anything, but I would just appreciate a little bit more of a smoother transition, and that's what we're doing. And also, the scallop is going to be raised like the original one, just because this does rub on my thumb when I'm using it for a long time. Where, you know, if it's brought up, I won't have to deal with that. But other than that, really, the only slight change that we're going to do is probably I believe we discussed the Scandi to bring it up just a slight smidge, maybe like 1 millimeter, just to bring it up, just so it can just slice a little smoother through wood, baton through wood, and that is about it. So once again, it's going to remain very similar to this, just the transition, this drop down is going to be brought back a little more behind. It's going to be brought back like right here. And because of that, this transition's not going to be as abrupt like this. It's going to be a little smoother. So it's just going to make it a better slicer. And just keep in mind, guys, just from what I've been speaking to Garrett from Bear Forest Knives, the first batch is going to be 40 snake eaters, and they will be coming out in late summer. So I'm estimating early August. As of time of filming this video right now, it is July 9th. So I would estimate it within a month. So keep a lookout around August, early August, from the 1st to the 9th, sometime around there. That's my estimate. Best thing that I can suggest is follow Bear Forest Knives on Instagram. I'll have the links down below, because you'll see more updates. You'll see posts and stuff like that a lot faster. And the first batch, like I said, is going to be 40 of them, and 20 of them are going to be 80 CRV steel, just like this one. So it's a carbon steel. So keep that in mind. It is carbon. You do got to maintain it a little bit more. So just keep that in mind. And of course, I am a fanatic of AEBL steel. So the other half are going to be AEBL. And I'm going to snag one of those because I love AEBL. Although as much as I love this one, AEBL is going to be the other half, because I know people love that. Now, the handles, from what he spoke, is that, you know, he's going to make a batch, and they're going to be half natural micarta, which is like a beige color, and the other half's going to be black micarta. And that's going to be, those options are going to be available for both the stainless and the carbon. Once in a while, you can check his site, and he will be making custom orders with custom, you know, rarer type of bear carta handles or wood handles. But those are going to be a little bit more rare. They'll trickle in. As far as the price and all that, I personally don't know yet. That depends on Garrett from Bear Forest Knives. You know, how long, you know, the labor process it did take for him to develop these blades and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. That I do not know. I don't have a say in the prices. That's the maker. So yeah, just stay tuned once again till about to early August, and it's going to be a batch of 40 of them. Once again, 20 stainless AEBL, 20 carbon steel 80 CRV2, like this one. And so with that being said, I know people are going to be asking me, he did say that he will be offering them, if you want, optional with the sheath, and it will be a JRE Industries sheath, just like this one. I mean, LT Wright uses them. Who else uses them? Bearforestknives. I mean, a ton of companies use JRE Industries, and for good reason. They're pretty good. And so, if you want something with the dangler, I'm just now, after like 14 years of carrying a knife every day, I'm starting to appreciate a good dangler here now. And especially during the winter months where your coat is kind of like down here, this kind of frees this up. So, it's a good sheath, nothing to scoff about. As for me personally, I do want to also give a shout out to this maker right here. So this was sent to me. This was a gift, and I'll have his Instagram down below as well. This is Bang Bang Bushcraft, another American made, another American business here, and this was a gift, and he sent this to me, and my God, I love this thing. So absolutely top notch leather sheath. And this one, the way it's designed is that it carries cross draw like this. So really love this design. I mean, it's very much like this very mountain man era style, which once again goes with the whole inspiration for, the Green River style knife. So once again, Bang Bang Bushcraft right there, and big thank you to them. Outstanding quality. So if you're looking for an alternate, you're kind of tired of JRE Industry sheaths, you're looking for something a little different, this is a great one right here. Got the drain hole right there. Really beautiful. I mean, this beautiful combo. So once again, link down below to Bang Bang Bushcraft. So if you order your snake eater when it comes out, you can commission one from them too. And then also another sheath option is this is from Howling Dingo down in Australia. And so Howling Dingo offers this sheath, very similar, very similar in design and style. I'm very plain Jane. I don't like a lot of intricacies. I don't like a ferro rod loop. I don't like anything like that. I just like a sheath to be a sheath. And so I like this stripped down simplistic design, and very, very similar. And so for this one, it's for his Green River knife, but I was able to wet form it with my original wood steel knife prototype, and you just wet form it, and this works great. Oops, let me put it correctly. And as you can tell, very similar styles. So you can really see my style there. So in case you're looking for options, in case you want to do something different than JRE, once again, Howling Dingo from Australia right here, and Bang Bang Bushcraft. Once again, links down below to them if you're interested. And so, yeah, really exciting stuff. I've really been impressed with this new Snake Eater design. Of course, there's a couple of changes happening, and I will admit it did take me a little bit of time to get used to carbon steel again, because I've been using stainless for the last 5 years. But it's not the end of the world, and really good stuff. So, once again, the first batch will be dropping in about a month from now. And also, I will be at Georgia Bushcraft in November, same as Garrett from Bearforestknives will be there as well. So if you're going to be there, he'll likely have a couple of snake eaters there for sale as well. And really exciting stuff, really cool stuff. So for those interested in a snake eater, there you go. As for those makers who commissioned an order from Woody Smith 4 or 5 years ago and haven't gotten it yet, guys, I hate to burst your bubble. It's not happening. He's gone. He is gone, and he never had the honor. He never had the shame to come clean and apologize. To address the community, to anything. He is gone, and sadly, you're not getting your knife from him, and you're not getting your money from him. People have been trying for months, either a refund or that, and he's gone. And so, I have a list of people that have sent me their invoices of what they paid, when they paid, and so on and so forth. It's going to come out of my pocket, because somebody's got to make things right, and I'm going to be paying for it. So those who did place your orders years ago, please be patient. I'm not rich. I can't afford to order 15 snake eaters and be sent out at the same time. But once every 2-3 months, I'm putting money away so I can commission an order to have one sent to you. Because once again, nothing in this world is free, and this guy just kept people's money, and he just disappeared and never even apologized to anyone. So at the very least, we can learn never commission a knife from Woody Smith again. I want to make sure that the community is well aware of what a serpent he was, and how he didn't even have the dignity to to apologize to his customers. And so somebody's got to make things right, and that's got to be me. So I'm gonna be, once again, little by little, placing orders, once every 3-4 months. And I could guarantee you're gonna get your knife faster from me ordering from Bear Forest Knives to get you your knife than him 10 years from now. He's still not going to be making your knife. So sadly, one thing that's coming from that is, realistically, as much as I hate to do this, my original 001 Snake Eater, even though this was a gift from a good friend of mine, Nathan from Free America, sadly, I'm probably going to end up making an auction. And I'm going to use the funds from that auction to commission as much snake eaters as I can. I'm not expecting this to sell for $1 million or anything like that, but I do know a lot of people prefer this more classic, sleeker look, the original the original incarnation of the snake eater, than the new one, and that's fine. I mean, I enjoy them both, but I can understand, if you wanted the original version, once again, I will likely be making an auction a couple of months down the line. So in case you wanted to purchase this one, once again, it's my original 001. It's a replica of my original because I lost my original, but it was numbered 001, owned by the designer, and yeah, and that way, once again, that'll help me kind of, crank out 2-3 orders at a time to start making things right with the people that got ripped off from Woody Smith. And that's about it for me, folks. That's about it for me. So I just really wanted to just give you guys an update on what the testing is looking like, how I'm feeling, and a little update on Bear Forest Knives and what their schedule is. So once again, stay tuned for about a month from now. He's had some other prototypes and stuff he's been working on prior, but he has been sending me like works in progress of the handles being made and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. And that's about it for me, folks. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any further questions, comments, suggestions. And once again, I'll have the links down below to Bear Forest Knives, to my personal Junkyard Fox Instagram, and also to Howling Dingo and Bang Bang Bushcraft. If you wanted to check out their sheaths, you might as well commission them when you order your knife, in case you wanted another type of sheath. And that's about it for me, folks. So I'll see you guys next week with another video. Now go outside and get your boots dirty. Awesome.